paying for it on your phone. Anyway. It's pretty gross, isn't it? What are you doing? Jordan Peterson will be... I can't read it through the phone. It's much too... I know. It is much... It's actually quite a lot easier. All right. So, actually, we're going to go back a bit. Because, yeah, here we go. The story of okay, here we go. The story of the young goat herd told to those that were with Don Quixote. I don't. Quixote. I don't. Like I said, it's only bad English, okay? So, can you imagine the Spanish? A young fellow who used to bring them provisions from the next village happened to come... You know, like if you let the puns happen, you know? Fuck me. Okay, hottie? A young fellow who used to bring them provisions from the next village happened to come while this was doing and addressing himself to the goat herds. "Hark ye, friends," said he. "Do you hear the news?" "What news?" cried one of the company. "That fine shepherd and scholar, Chrysostom, died this morning," answered the other, "and they say it was for love of the devilish untoward lass Marcella. Rich." I want to say, Rich Williams. Wait a sec, wait. Oh. Rich Willie. Sorry. I have a very small Williams, you know? Rich Williams' daughter that goes up and down the country in the habit of a shepherdess for Marcella, cried one of the goat herds. "I say for her," replied the fellow. "And what is more, it is reported he has ordered, by his will, they should bury him in the fields like any heathen Moor, just at the foot of the rock, hard by the cork tree fountain, where they say..." "He had the first sight of her. Nay, he has likewise ordered many other strange things to be done, which the herds of the parish will not allow of, for they seem to be after the way of the pagans. But Ambrose, the other scholar, who likewise apparelled himself like a shepherd, is resolved to have his friend Chrysostom's will fulfilled in everything, just as he has ordered it. All the village is in uproar. But after all, it is thought Ambrose and his friends will carry the day, and tomorrow morning he is to be buried in great state, where I told you I fancy it will be worth seeing. Howsoever, be it what it will, I will even go and see it, even though I should not get back again tomorrow. We will all go." So, like, I'm bad at getting it right with my just my face in the way. Oh, very little. All right, well, sorry. I fancy it. Will be worth seeing, howsoever, be it what it will, I will even go. I'll even go and see it, even though I should not get back again tomorrow. We will all go. We will all go, cried the goat herds, and cast lots who shall tarry to look after the goats. Well, said Peter, cried one of the goat herds, but as for the casting of lots, I will save you that labour, for I will stay myself. Not so much out of kindness to you, sorry, to you neither, or want of curiosity, as because of the thorn in my toe. That's why that will not let me, that will not let me go. Thank you. However, quoth Peter. Don Quixote, who heard all this, and entreated Peter to tell him who the deceased was, and also to give him a short account of the shepherdess. Peter made answer that all he knew of the matter was that the deceased was a wealthy gentleman who lived not far off, that he had been several years at the University of Salamanca, and then came home. Sorry. Mightily improved in his learning. But above all, quoth he, it was said of him that he had great knowledge in the stars, and whatsoever the sun and moon do in the skies, for he would tell us to a title, the clip of the sun and moon. We call it an eclipse, cried Don Quixote. Oh, the sun. Like, I was going to ask the same. Okay, so what is happening is I'm trying to read a book with, called Don Quixote, where, I'm not real good at reading is the main problem. And in this old literature, it's fancy, okay? That's the main problem here, okay? Anyway, so, wait. But, I'm pretty sure, basically what goes on here, right, is, these young men who, the goats, they're one of them is super in love with young Marcella, right? And he's getting his heart broken, stepped all over. But the suggestion through this whole part is that Marcella, Marcella is getting down with all of them, so to speak, or if she's not getting down with most of them, the rest of them already know she's a slut. Yeah. Anyway. That's what this part of Don Quixote is about. This little bit. What's my job? It's a pretty good one. My job is schizophrenia. Being real lucky. I love this book. I mean, sometimes I don't. When I first got a mobile phone, I downloaded a free version of it from Amazon. And I would watch it on my try and read it, but and that version is a different translation, and it would just, and I'd just gotten out of the mental hospital, and it would just send me just crazy. It's so funny. Anyway. Okay, we'll try again. Okay, we'll just start at this paragraph. That is quite the paragraph. Ain't it? Look at that. That's where the paragraph begins. And that's how big the writing is, and that is where the paragraph ends. Okay. Peter made answer that all he knew of the matter was, yeah, see, this is, that's why the Kindle is the best thing ever. Flat pages, ding, 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 ding. None of this trying to get around the folds, okay? None of that. Sorry. How big is the book? That's how big my hand is. That's how big my hand is next to my face. That's the book, okay? That is the book. How big is the book? How big is the book? It's a pretty big one. It's been around for 400 years, I think. It's been translated into like probably most languages. Probably not as big as the Bible. Okay? Maybe in the Latin American world, bigger than the Bible. Okay? I don't know. I'm not well traveled. Okay? Really. Let's just start again in a completely different place. Okay. Don Quixote, overhearing their discourse, "Gentlemen," said he. God, so there's a shadow. Oh. Don Quixote, overhearing their discourse, "Gentlemen," said he, "if you are conversant and skilled in matters of knight-errantry, I will communicate my misfortunes to you. If you are not, I have no reason to give myself the trouble. Truly, friend," answered the canon, "I am better acquainted with books of chivalry than with Villapando's divinity. And if that be all your objection, you may safely impart to me what you please. With heaven's permission be it so," said Don Quixote. "You must then understand, Sir Knight, that I am borne away in this cage by the force of enchantments, through the envious spite and malice of some cursed magicians. For virtue is more zealously persecuted by ill men than it is beloved by the good. I am, by profession, a knight-errant, and none of those, I assure you, whose deeds never merited a place in the records of fame, but one who, in spite of envy's self, in spite of all the magi of Persia, the Brahmins of India, or the gymnosophists of Ethiopia, shall secure to his name a place in the temple of immortality, as a pattern and model to the following ages, that ensuing knights errant following my steps may be guided to the top and highest pitch of heroic honor. Like, it's like the idea that like he doesn't take himself seriously as well, you know? The joke is, how could anyone else? Okay. The noble Don Quixote of wait. Oh yeah. Highest pitch of heroic honor. The noble Don Quixote de la Mancha. Okay, so like I live in a place where there's a place over the hill called Lismore, right? I have a feeling that the original pronunciation of Lismore is something more like anyway. said said the curate. Wait, the noble Don Quixote de la Mancha speaks truth, and to the curate coming up to the company, he is indeed enchanted in this cart, not through his own demerits or offences, but the malicious treachery of those whom virtue displeases and valour offends. This is, sir, the knight of the woeful figure, of whom you have undoubtedly heard, whose mighty deeds shall stand engraved in lasting brass and time surviving marble, till envy grows tired and tired and laboring to deface his fame and malice to conceal them. The canon, hearing the prisoner and his guard talk thus in the same style, was in amaze, and blessed himself for wonder, as did the rest of the style, for the rest of the company still, till Sancho Panza coming up to bend the matter. Look ye, sirs, said he, I will speak the truth, take it well, or take it ill. My master, here is no more enchanted than my mother. He is in his sober senses. He eats and drinks and does his needs like other folks, and he used to do, and yet they will persuade me that a man who can do all this is enchanted, forsooth. He can speak too, for if they will let him alone, he will prattle you more than 30 attorneys. Then, turning toward the curate, oh, Mr. Curate, continued he. Sorry. I'm like barely processing it as I read it, you know? Like, it's not coming out of my asshole, okay? Fucking not coming up from it either. Like, I try. Try to. I will speak the truth, take it well, or take it ill. My master here is no more enchanted than my mother. He is in his sober senses. He eats and drinks and does his needs like other folks, and he used to do, and yet they will persuade me that a man who can do all this is enchanted, forsooth. He can speak too, for if they will let him alone, he will prattle you more than 30 attorneys. Then, turning toward the curate, oh, Mr. Curate, continued he, do you think I do not know you, and that I do not guess what all these new enchantments drive, you know, and that I, and that I, and that I, and that I do not guess what all these new enchantments drive at? Yes, I do know. Like, they're this schizophrenic. It's just not going to happen. Everyone's left. Oh, they're back. What do you got back again? Okay. Sorry, Cash. Hey. Then, turning toward the curate, oh, Mr. Curate, continued he, do you think I do not know you, and that I do not guess what all these new enchantments drive at? Yes, I do know you well enough, for all you do hide your face, and understand your design, for all your sly tricks, sir. But it is an old saying, there is no striving against the stream, and the weakest still go to the wall. The devil take the luck on it. Had not your reverence spoiled our sport, my master had been married before now to the Princess Makomiko, Oh, wait, who is that? A princess. Princess Macomb, Princess Macomb. What's a princess? And I had been an earl at least. Nay. Sure. At the worst, come to the worst. But the old proverb is true. Again, fortune turns around like a mill wheel, and he that was yesterday at the top lies today at the bottom. I wonder, Mr. Curate, you that are a clergyman should not have more conscience. Consider, sir, that I have a wife and family who expect all to be great folks, and my master here is to do a well is to do a world of good deeds. And do not you think, sir, that you will not be made to answer for all this one day? Snuff me those candles, said the barber, hearing Sancho talk at this rate. What fool are you, brain sick of your master's disease too? If you be, you are like to bear him company in his cage, I will assure you, frank. What enchanted island is this that floats in your skull? Or what succubus has been riding thy fancy and got it with child of these hopes? With child? Sir, what do ye mean, sir? Said Sancho. I scorn your words, sir. The best lord in the land should not get me with child. No, not the king himself. Heaven bless him. For though I am a poor man, yet I am an honest man and an old Christian, and do not owe any man a farthing. And though I desire islands, there are other folks not far off that desire worse things. Everyone is the son of his own works. I am a man, and may be Pope of Rome, much more governor of an island, especially considering my master may gain so many as he may want persons to bestow them on. Therefore, pray, Mr. Barber, take heed what you say, for all consists not in shaving of beards, and there is some difference between a hawk and a handsaw. I say so because we all know one another, and nobody shall put a false card upon me. As to my master's enchantment, let it stand as it is. Heaven knows best, and a stink is still worse for the stirring. The barber thought silence the best way to quiet Sancho's impertinence, and the curate, doubting that he might spoil all, entreated the canon to move a little before, and he would unfold the mystery of the encaged knight, which perhaps he would find one of the pleasantest stories he had ever heard. The canon rode forward, him and his men followed, while the curate made them a relation of Don Quixote's life and quality, his madness and adventures with the original cause of his distraction. If you got like AI psychosis, which is definitely a thing, probably. I hope. If you got that, turn those puns off. Is there any money in the? Oh fuck! Are you guys like working at crack? Working at Macca's? Burgers? Flipping? I love you. Especially because, it's Moorish, but it's not that fucking Moorish, I guess, Certainly. As in, I would like more of it all the time. That's the problem with crack. Crack is this thing that you always want more of. Just more. Lots of things are crack. I'll tell you what's crack right now. Fucking Don Quixote. Yeah. Believe me, Mr. Curate, he said, I am fully convinced that those they call books of knight-errantry are very prejudicial to the public, and though I have been led away with an idle and false pleasure to read the beginnings of almost as many of them as have been printed, I could never yet persuade myself to go through with any one to the end. For me, they all seem to contain one and the same thing, and there is much in one of them as in the rest. The whole composition and style resemble that of the Milesian fables, which are a sort of idle stories designed only for diversion, and, and not for instruction. It is not. Sorry about that. Telesemination. Ooh. That's like a bit much. It's a bit labored, but telefartation, you know? Yeah, there we go. Sorry.